Hey, everybody, welcome back to another edition of Talk and Travel with Terry and Darcy, the news edition. It's been a while since we've been speaking with you, so we hope that you're still with us and we'll get something out of the show. So, as with me, with always, is Terry Hawkins out on the West Coast. So, how are you doing, Terry?
Doing great here, Darcy. Summer's in good swing here. We're really enjoying the warm weather while we have it and getting pretty busy with work here. So that is great to see. Lots of people planning travel for the fall and winter.
Yeah, that's true. There's certainly a renewed interest in traveling for Christmas and into the spring.
Yeah. And you've had some exciting couple of weeks here, Darcy.
I have. I've just finished my ninth Canada Games, all as part of the New Brunswick delegation. This time as a coach with the women's beach volleyball team. I'm happy to say we finished fourth, which is the best finish ever for a team from New Brunswick. So it was a warm week in the Niagara region, but I had one day off of the 9 that were there, so we got to visit the falls and take in all those touristy things. So it was a good trip until we tried to get home, and then flying through Pearson was a bit of an experience, but we made it.
Yeah, fun times, but they are getting better.
They are. It's slowly getting there. So, time for the news, and as always, we're going to start with our cruise news. And in general, the cruising industry, there's a lot of changes still going on with COVID protocols. But they're all still different. So as far as that goes, just check with Terry or I, and we can help you with that way. But I think, Terry, you've got some really interesting news to kick us off with from Royal Caribbean.
Royal Caribbean International has a new video series coming out called Making an Icon. It follows the construction of the new Icon of the Seas, the first of 3 ships in Royal Caribbean's new Icon class of ships. Episode 1 came out this week, and future episodes are scheduled to come out every month. We talked about the Icon before there, Darcy, right? That's the ship with that mystery sphere, which I'm pretty sure is Professor X's new home on the seas.
So also some news from the government, and it's good, which is always nice to have with regards to cruising. The government of Canada has announced that the cruise lines have been adhering to the stricter wastewater rules that they put in place back in April. Transport Canada had announced some new environmental measures for wastewater on cruise ships when they're cruising through Canadian waters at the restart of the cruise ships operating in our waters. So, it really hasn't been that long. And they have reported that 40, I can't remember what the number was now, 47 ships have sailed in the Canadian waters, and all but one has managed to adhere to those new guidelines about where they can dump and how they dump their wastewater. And they did also report that the one that didn't, it was more of a safety factor than anything else. So it wasn't that they hadn't tried. So that's great news, because the cruising industry is huge in Canada. It employs a lot of people and contributes a lot to our tourism industry. So having those ships adhere to those rules will make it safe or allow the government to keep allowing them to come in. So great news, I think, on that front.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the media likes to focus a little bit on cruise ships, and environmental groups like to focus on cruise ships. But cruise ships are where we're seeing the biggest innovations in waste treatments, in energy efficiency, and the changes that we're seeing that are being driven by government regulation and by pressure from the environmental groups are having an effect on the cruise industry. And as those changes come and are adopted by the cruise lines, they are moving out from there to the shipping lines, to the fishing fleets, and every place else. And San Juan will be getting a huge upgrade for ships. They've struck a 30-year deal that will double the number of cruise docks from 4 to 8 and repair and upgrade the existing docks that were damaged by Hurricanes Irma and Maria back in 2017. The new deal also allows for the building of a new cruise pier and home port terminal in phase 2 of the development if phase 1 goes well.
Also, another port that's having some infrastructure work done is the Port of Galveston. It's also investing in infrastructure improvements for cruise ships. $33 million has been allocated for pier repairs and upgrades, which are badly needed, according to Terry, because he's cruised out of there. We were supposed to, but cruise got canceled because they didn't build the new pier in time. So they're doing pier improvements, road improvements, utility upgrades, things like that. This is being done in anticipation of Carnival's Jubilee and Norwegian Prima home porting out of Galveston. And this is on top of the $10 million that Royal has already invested in to make a new pier for some of their larger ships to port there. So more good news for the Port of Galveston.
$110 million Royal investment.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's shaping up to be a beautiful terminal. And speaking of investments, Virgin Voyages has secured another $550 million in capital investment to strengthen its position as cruise demand has surged. It's a lot more than just building new cruise ships. You've got to secure all that support that goes in behind it. Virgin Voyages currently has 2 ships sailing, Scarlet Lady and Valiant Lady. Resilient Lady was supposed to start sailing this year, but has been delayed because of some of these global supply issues that this money will help alleviate. So it's now expected to sail in May, and Brilliant Lady, the 4th ship in the line, will come later on in the year. And Darcy's going to kick us off with some Disney news.
Disney's been relatively quiet recently after a lot of big announcements around some of the new attractions that they've opened, but there's still a little bit of news from Disney. First off is a reminder that we've talked about before, and that's future cruise credits with Disney Cruise Line are expiring, and they must be used for sailings that depart by September 30th of this year. So you don't have a whole lot of time. So if you're looking for that last minute cruise with your future cruise credits, now's the time to book it.
And Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique reservations are now open for both Disneyland Park and for Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom. There has been so many questions over the last while about Bibbidi Bobbidi. It is such a fun place to go and visit. I know I took Emma there back in 2020, and she had a lot of fun. It is so great to see the smiles and get your hair done up before. For those of us that have it, get that done up before visiting the princess. Yeah, I know. We got to do the pirate one. I think they'll do our beards for the pirate ones there, Darcy.
Yeah, it's not Bibbidi Bobbidi, but Declan had done the pirate one a few years ago. It was a pretty cool experience too. Finally, with Disney, just another reminder, Disney World and Disneyland reservations are now open to the end of 2023. So if you're looking for a trip later next year, we can start making those reservations for you. So give us a call.
And Darcy's going to kick us off with some air news here too. That's I think Darcy's favorite segment.
Yeah.
Well, next to Disney.
Yeah, it's and again, this has been an ongoing story for us that has been one good news after another for Canada Jetlines, and they really have now pretty much taken their final step to getting in the air. They've received their air operating certificate, so they will now begin operations out of their hub, which is Toronto Pearson International Airport. Maybe not a good spot right yet, but they're not going to fly tomorrow, so hopefully it'll be all fixed by then. The entire team at Canada Jetlines is thrilled to obtain our AOC after meeting all necessary operation standards and passing all inspections, said CEO Eddie Doyle, who thanked Transport Canada and greatly appreciate the Tyler's efforts and diligence they undertake to improve new airlines. We excitedly look forward to our launch date, meeting the increased demand for convenient leisure travel in Canada and beyond to provide more options to explore the world. They're looking to their inaugural flight and we'll be releasing new destinations and updated scheduling shortly. So that's exciting because the leisure travel market is big, and it will give us many more options than simply the legacy carriers that we've had in Canada. So.
And Darcy alluded to some issues that he had with his return trip coming out of Toronto Pearson. Things still aren't perfect. They're still far from perfect, but they are getting better with air travel. Just remember to arrive early, pack wisely with all of your medication and essentials in a carry-on, bring your patients, and if you're going on a cruise or going to a wedding, make sure that you're getting there 2 or 3 days in advance, just in case there's some issues, so that you've got a better opportunity of catching a later flight.
And I'll just add that we said I had some issues coming back through Pearson from Canada Games, but it wasn't the people that we dealt with in the airport. So taking it out on gate agents and counter agents is the last thing you should do, because it's not, at least in my case, it wasn't them that caused our delays. On other notes, we're seeing a large uptick in travel-related scams, just like a lot of other things. But Terry and I are getting a number of calls and emails that are scams, Facebook posts that are scams, cancellations for Airbnb type bookings. So personally, we don't book those types of suppliers for the most part. So there's no recourse against the owner for bookings that are canceled or on properties that are subpar. But we do work with qualified suppliers that stand behind their properties, and we advocate for you if there's any issues that come up. So you really need to be careful. If you see an ad or get an email for a great deal, it's probably not true. And the easiest way to find out is to contact Terry or I, and we can double check it for you.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing a large number of fake tour companies, and really the number of last minute day of cancellations for the Airbnb type places. We're seeing stories of people getting to their destination only to find out that the owner has canceled their reservation because they're most likely able to book it out for twice the price. So, and then you've got no place to stay. So, we vet our suppliers, and our suppliers vet the properties that they use for this. So, make your choices wisely. Every day it's an evolving thing with COVID, the restrictions being lifted. So check with us and we'll tell you what the restrictions are.
And just to kind of finish that off, there are, like Terry said, many countries that are reducing their entry requirements, and some of the more popular ones that people like to travel to are included in that list. And just to give you an idea, France, Italy, Germany, the UK, Portugal, Austria, and then Australia and South Africa, they've removed all of the remaining COVID entry requirements, including mask mandates, so you can freely travel in and out of there and around. Turkey has removed all entry requirements, so no vaccine requirements, no testing requirements. They do have some mask requirements, but usually only in healthcare settings. Greece, everything gone. Even in most attractions may still require a mask, but they're few and far between. And the big, for us in the East anyway, one of our big Caribbean destinations is the Dominican Republic. And they've pretty much removed all the restrictions, and they simply ask that you complete an electronic form, an entry and exit form that includes a health declaration and your customs declaration and all that stuff. And it's free, so it is no big deal. But so you're not going to be tested, you're not going to have to prove vaccines. You just have to get there.
And if you like what you see and hear, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, the little bell button that comes up to go ding, let you know that we've dropped a new video. We hope to get more of the supplier videos out. That's going to take a little while. We've got some really cool stuff in the works, but the really cool stuff takes a while to get approval due to copyright issues. From the West Coast, I'm Terry Hawkins, Terry the Travel Guy. I hope everybody has a great week.
And from the East Coast, my name is Darcy McKillop, and looking forward to booking your travel. Give us a call.